Hi guys, Luton here, and I'm back today to talk about the Dragon's Teeth DLC. Now I've not spoken at all about this so far, but I wanted to give you some thoughts and feedback around it today. Now so far we know that Dragon's Teeth is going to focus on close quarter urban combat, and the Close Quarters DLC from Battlefield 3 brought us the domination mode way back there. Now as this already exists in Battlefield 4, it's very likely that Dragon's Teeth is therefore going to be more akin to the Aftermath DLC, and in my opinion this was one of the best DLCs released for Battlefield 3. So, will Dragon's Teeth be the best DLC for Battlefield 4? We'll have to wait and see, but there's many factors into looking at how this is actually going to play out, the kind of gameplay we're going to get from it, what sort of, environments we're going to have. Close quarter urban combat is pretty self-explanatory, and therefore if you look back at kind of Aftermath and imagine the kind of environments we had there's a lot of street fighting, a lot of kind of guerrilla urban combat there, and I'm really hoping that that's the kind of stuff we're going to be getting with Dragon's Teeth. Now obviously we've already seen that we're going to be getting a Riot Shield, and a little bit of info about this that you've probably seen already, but I'll just run back over it. The Riot Shield, it's going to be two-handed. It's not going to be a one-handed tool like with Counter-Strike or COD, allowing you to have a light second weapon like an SMG or a pistol. And that's really good because it means that it's not going to enable people to kind of use it on the run. It's going to be much more of a kind of team tool or a defensive unit sort of tool, something like that. An interesting aspect that we know with the Riot Shield is it's going to be also termed movable cover. Now this could actually mean that it will throw out many more possible gameplay options than just pushing forward with your infantry. It could mean that you're actually able to place it down in specific hot points, enabling players to move up under cover or simply deny access to fast enemy routes. So you could block them, make their lives more difficult, or again if you're trying to perhaps defuse an objective, you could slap it down there, enabling you to get back into an MCOM or with defuse, something like that. Or in any way you could actually use it to sort of actually deny attacking players being able to move up there. So that there's a lot of different uses that you could use it for. Now also remember that we'll see potentially more active use for something like the M84 Flashbang, a tool which up to now has had limited use across many of the maps, but so far with this DLC focused more towards urban close quarter combat, throwing this into a crowded room could be the difference between clearing multiple enemies and a terrible loss. So it's something you might really want to consider for your kit loadouts. I've been trying it out in multiple different maps, and it actually works really well in certain situations, and if this map applies itself in that way, then this is going to be something you're going to want to use and face. On the downside of that coin though, we'll be facing a new nightmare, the war against grenade spam and screen shake. With the prevalence of grenade spam in Battlefield 4, if this DLC does face towards close quarter urban combat as it says, it could be damaged by the hail of grenades that is sure to follow in the footsteps of things like Locker, Metro, and to be honest any urban domination map. But one of the best things we'll be looking forward to is excellent CQ combat. The gunplay in Battlefield is something that I've always hugely enjoyed. Remember from Battlefield 3, like we're seeing here, the awesome close quarter combat. And I actually got back on this week to sort of play some of this out because I wanted to remind myself of the differences there between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But also I just wanted to get into these actual close quarter environments, because domination in Battlefield 4, it doesn't always play out in the same way as the close quarter maps did with Battlefield 3, and I actually really like the close quarter maps in Battlefield 3. They were specifically boxed in to make sure that you had this kind of like kill zone sort of brutal fight. I don't mean kill zone the game, I mean like kill zones in the the actual environment. It really sort of boxed you in this kind of gladiatorial arena style where you had like no escape, no way to sort of move out into open cover. It really put you in the meat grinder, and sometimes that can actually be really enjoyable because it relies totally on kind of twitch. There's a lot of kind of psychological gameplay that can come into play here, and I remember on these rounds that I played on this evening, so many times you kind of come around a corner, there's a guy there, you dodge back in, he moves, you jump over, fake him, turn around, get behind him, you predict where he's going to move to, get in there. There's a lot of kind of mind games that happens when you're kind of rooting around enemies, and that's the kind of really intense, excellent gameplay that I'd look towards getting from Dragon's Teeth, that kind of close quarter, really sort of intense mind game combined with sort of twitch gameplay. So I'm really hoping that they're going to drive that forward, and then when you have that combined with the kind of sort of urban vehicle combat that we had with the Aftermath DLC, if that all comes together, it could be something that's going to be really awesome indeed. So we still have a lot of information to come around the Dragon's Teeth DLC. It's been quite limited to this point, but I think that pretty soon we're going to see a lot more information coming out around this, as we have done with previous DLC. I'm quite excited to get into this one because I think it's going to be, with all puns intended, something that I'm really going to be able to get my teeth into. But with that said, I am actually really looking forward to this DLC. I think it's going to be a great addition. I'm hoping it's going to vary the kind of style of gameplay we've had up to now. As usual, all of the DLCs through Battlefield 4 have actually been pretty varied, and I'm hoping that this won't disappoint in that avenue. It'll be kind of, different to what we've seen so far, and provide a fresh, new, interesting way to play the game. So guys, as always, drop your thoughts below. What do you think is going to be in Dragon's Teeth? What do you think kit might be in there? What kit would you want to see? Similarly, weapons, similarly, maps. How would you like them to be designed? Open, closed? How do you want it to play out? Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll see you next time. And by the way, I'm back now, so a lot more content coming up this week. Armor, Battlefield, and all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.